Nation, welcome to Motherhood Made Simple. Today's video is going to be about how my homeschool has changed over the course of 3 years. I have been homeschooling for 3 years. Both of my boys, they are 11 and 6. My oldest will be 12 next month. And like I said, I've been homeschooling for 3 years, and my homeschool has changed drastically in those 3 years. I just want to give you a little backstory on how it's changed so much. When I took my son out of school 3 years ago to homeschool him, he was in 4th grade, and at the time I was working a full-time job. I was working 40 to 60 hours a week, and I was homeschooling my kids. My job was overnight, so I would work a complete shift overnight, come home, have a cup of coffee, and I would homeschool my kids for about 4 hours every day, cook dinner, take a 3-hour nap, and then I would, a 3 or 4 hour nap, and then I would do the same thing all over again. I did that for 3 years. Yes, 3 years. To say I was exhausted is a complete understatement, but I had a desire to educate my children, and for me it was worth all the sacrifices of sleep to make it happen. Now, how my homeschool has changed over that amount of time is, in the beginning, I think anyone homeschooling, you fall into the trap of trying to recreate school at home. So I definitely did that in the beginning. And another thing I did is that I relied heavily on curriculum, but hindsight, I don't think that was a bad thing for me at the time, only because I was working full time and I needed something open and go, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I needed something open and go, and something that was a good curriculum that I could follow by to make sure that my kids weren't falling behind. So the curriculum I chose at the time was The Good and the Beautiful, and I still use the curriculum today. I just don't use it in the same way that I used it before. So, like I said before, I was working full time when I was homeschooling my boys, and I had a little amount of time to homeschool them so that I could do the other things I needed to do during the day, and then, try to get some sleep to go back to work. So October of last year, me and my husband decided that, I was going to quit my job and I was going to stay home full time to continue to homeschool the boys and take care of him and our home and things like that. So in October, I quit my job and I was home full time. Now, how that impacted my homeschool is that now I have all this time to look into building unit studies, to really sit down and, dig into my kids and see what their interests are. I mean, I had an idea of what their interests were, but now I had the time to really sit down and focus on them one-on-one, and just slow everything down and just, tailor their education to them. I always like saying that, tailor their education to them. It wasn't really tailored before. It was just like we were kind of doing school at home, and I would throw in bits and pieces there of things that I knew that they liked. So now I realize that with my oldest, he doesn't really like curriculum. He doesn't like things that are dry or by the book. He's a very creative thinker. I'm a very artistic child. He likes a lot of visual things. So how I've tailored his learning is completely geared towards that now, and now I have the time to focus. I'll show you guys another video like how I'm still using The Good and the Beautiful, but I'm using it differently with him, because if I tried to explain this video, it would be way too long. But I've taken the time and completely tailored a plan to him. And with my youngest, I've had time to really sit down with him and see what he's really interested into. He's really into math. He loves to read. He's into coding right now. So I've gotten him a bunch of fun schooling things like Osmo and all this other stuff. I got a bunch of fun schooling stuff for my oldest too. And this is another thing. Now that I have the time to slow down and think about my kids and spend time with them and see what they really like, my oldest son is into fun schooling. He likes things that are games and things that are exciting and new and fresh. And my youngest is completely okay with doing opening a workbook and working his way through it. He craves the structure. My oldest does not. So what I would say is the biggest transformation in my homeschool is just me having more time to develop our homeschool in a way that both of my boys can thrive. And I think this is something that, as a homeschooling parent, you're just gonna have to see on your own. No one can really tell you the transition. You're just gonna automatically, kind of fall into it on your own. When we started, we were so structured, and now I'm not saying we're unschoolers, because my mind isn't set up that way. I'm a very structured person, but in some aspects, we are very like unschool, and I'm okay with that. I feel like as long as my kids are learning, I don't really care, what avenue we choose. As long as they're learning and they're thriving, they're understanding concepts, I can see them growing and, gaining new skills. I don't really care how we get there. But the other thing I did want to say is that our homeschool now is way more of a rhythm. So if you're a new homeschool mama and you're struggling and you're ready to pull your hair out and you're going crazy, just hang in there. It'll get easier. The more comfortable you are with homeschooling, the more comfortable your kids will be. And, once they get used to the rhythm, it'll flow. Because, like, if I wake up late, my boys automatically come in the kitchen, grab their books, and start, their homeschool. They know the routine. They know it. So they'll automatically do it on their own. It used to be when I was like, all right, come on homeschool. They'd be like, oh, and now they're like, yay, because I make it fun and exciting. And I have the time to make it fun and exciting for them. And I just think that, it's such a blessing to be able to homeschool. Don't stress yourself out over, not doing enough. I did that in the beginning, because I took my son in 4th grade and I made him redo 4th grade all over again. And I remember we worked on adding, subtraction, multiplication, and division for 4 months. That was it. And I remember saying, he's gonna be so far behind, I should have did this, it's too much. But, I wanted to make sure that he had a good base, that we could build on. That was so, so important for me, because there were so many things. And this is the frustrating part about, him being in the school system. For me, it was so many things that he just didn't know or didn't grasp well. And no one took the time to make sure that he knew that. And it's not the school's fault. They really don't have time to slow everything down for your child when they have 20-something other kids to deal with. So I don't know why I went on that rant, but my homeschool's changed for the better. I feel like, I've grown so much. It's changed me so much. I have me and my kids had a great relationship before, but we have an awesome one now. Seeing them learn new things and seeing them grow. And they ask me so many questions, and they're so inquisitive, and they're always, seeking knowledge even when I'm not around, and it makes my mama heart very, very happy. So that's a short little answer to that question, how my homeschool has changed. I can't even really put into words how much it has changed. It's just changed so much, and it's changed me. I know it's changed them. And, if you're thinking about homeschooling, I would say, I tell everyone, just do it. Worst case, if it doesn't work out, you can always put your kids back in school. You're not really losing anything. But if it works, think of how much that would change your child, So that's my advice. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was somewhat helpful, me sitting here ranting for a second. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to the channel. Leave me any questions or comments you have below. And as always, I hope when you watch my channel, you leave feeling empowered and inspired in some kind of way. I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.